Welcome to day 11 of Balance's 12-minute mini yoga series. Today's session is called Who is Your Nama? Or what does Namaste mean? So we're going to talk about it. There are two things that you can count on when you go to a yoga class, right? You can't always know what poses are going to be called, what sequences. Are you going to have to spend the whole time in chair? Are you going to have to do a lot of plank, right? So you never really know how a yoga practice is going to unfold, who's going to be there, if you're going to get your favorite spot, all of those things that make the practice yours. But there are two things that you can count on all of the time, right? And one of those is Shavasana at the end, right? And then when we finish Shavasana, we close the formal practice with Namaste. So those two things are pretty consistent no matter what yoga class you go to, right? So they're a constant. It was a long time before I really knew what Namaste meant. Like, I went to my first yoga class, they said it, I looked around, I was like, what are they talking about? Why are they doing this? What does it mean? And then I eventually caught on, and as my practice has deepened, my understanding of that word has deepened a little bit. So maybe you can relate to that, or maybe you researched it before you even stepped foot in a yoga studio because you wanted to know what was coming up, right? So we all kind of have different understandings. And I think too, like, the word namaste gets thrown around a lot today in today's society and culture. You see this shirts that say namaste in bed, namaste at work, and there's this sort of twist on it. And it's become fairly mainstream. But it's actually a very sacred and very spiritual word to really honor the practice and the people that we practice with. So we're going to break that down a little bit. And if you know me, I always have my coffee. So Namaste is Sanskrit, and it literally translates into the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Right? So if you break that down, Nama means bow, As means I, and Te means you. So the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Okay? And this is typically expressed at the end of the practice. The hands come together in this prayer position right at heart center. And there's this gesture of bowing forward, this acknowledgement. And this creates a loop of connection, of positive energy that's exchanged between those that are expressing the gesture, right? So the people in the class, the teacher, the community that's in that space. And the hands being at the heart center is right where the heart chakra is, and that connects during the expression of Namaste. So, right, we say Namaste as a way to end class, the actual physical practice. It's a way to thank the teacher for teaching. Maybe it's this sort of gesture of sweet relief that class is over because it was hard, right? Or you were really challenged. And it's a way to bring closure to the shared experience, both with the teacher and those that are in community with you. And really, for me, Namaste is a way to recognize that we're all equal, right? So during class, right, we all are on our own mat in our own space. We're in our own bodies in practice. We're breathing as one, but still as community. And we're all doing our own inner work in various ways, right? Some of us are very new to the practice. Some of us have been on this journey for a long time. And we're all in different places practicing on our own, but together, right? And this coming together at the end of a practice and closing the practice with this expression really acknowledges that even though we're in our own journey, we're all the same. Right? It unites us together as a community, and really seals the practice both as that shared yoga community and in our own bodies, right? It's a way to end the physical practice and then take what we have learned on our mat out into the world, or as I like to say, out into the wild, right? So, that which we practice becomes stronger on our mat so that we leave the mat and we can do our yoga work outside and off the mat and in the wild, so to speak. So it's really this acknowledging that though we may all be different and come from different backgrounds and different religions and look different and different practices, that we're really all the same. And that we are part of both a yoga community, the greater community in which we live, and then this bigger community of humanity in the world. So it's an acknowledgement that by honoring the light and truth in me and in each other, we are one and the same. And I think that's really powerful, right? That no matter where we come from, what our histories, what our stories, what our journeys are, we can come together and through a practice and through an expression and a gesture and a word, acknowledge that we are all the same, right? That we are part of something greater, and that we can recognize that in each other, because I think sometimes that gets lost, right? That gets lost along the way. Sometimes, we forget, we get so busy in our lives in doing our thing, and we're rushing to practice and to get on our mats and to get from point A to point B. And that, really we lose sight that we are all part of this greater human world, and this community of humanity. And this really, for me, is a way to bring me back to that realization, right? And let that really sit in my body, and really feel that. Sometimes I know, and I've done it, right, that people leave class, you got to get somewhere, and really, you don't have to go through the physical, process of saying namaste before you leave, but if you can take the time to maybe say it in your mind, like that, putting that energy out there is powerful, and that you are still sending that good energy out into the world. So energy is a powerful thing. So just to kind of recap before we kind of walk through this, right? So that namaste is seeing the good, the light, the truth in one another, and realizing that we are all one and the same in that. And some people have their own kind of variations of how they do that, but typically hands are at heart center, right? So palms are together in a prayer form, and the thumbs, I like to have the thumbs that rest right on my chest. And part of that is you're connecting to your heart chakra, which sends the energy out. And it also, it reminds you of the life force, right? That is within each of us, that again connects us and makes us one and the same. Sometimes people will rest their thumbs at their third eye, or sometimes they will move them up. So you put your hands at heart center, and then actually it's just a simple bow, right? It's this gesture forward. Eyes can be closed or looking right at the tip of your nose, right? So you come here, you put your hands together, you take a full breath in, and a long breath out. Okay. The light and truth in me sees and honors that in each of you. And together we say, Namaste. So I hope this has shed a little bit of light or mystery around the word Namaste, and maybe you will view it a little bit differently as you end your own practice next time you get on the mat. So thanks for showing up at 12 for our 12-minute mini for Who's Your Nama. If this is your first 12-minute mini, you can check out the other weeks. They're housed on the Balance Webster YouTube channel. This one will be there as well later on today. There are a total of 12. So this was number 11. 12 is tomorrow. And we hope you've enjoyed this. So have a great day.